Hello. Today we're going to be practicing multiplying decimals. And when we multiply with decimals, we have a few steps that we need to follow. So first off, we need to make sure we're multiplying from right to left. So when we line up our numbers, we need to make sure they go from right to left. Then we insert our placeholder or placeholders as we go subsequently down in layers. And then we add up our layers. And number 4, we move our decimal at the end. So you may be thinking, what does this mean? Well, we're going to be using US traditional multiplication in order to solve today. So we have two problems. The first one we're going to do is 3 1/10 times 2 4/10. So to multiply these, we are going to have to line them up. And use blue. We're going to have to line them up in a vertical way. Right now they're horizontal. We're going to line them up vertically. So I'm going to have 3 1/10 on top, and below it will be 2 4/10. So it's less important to line up the decimals right here than it is to make sure that all the digits are as far to the right as possible. It's not the same as with addition and subtraction where we need our decimals lined up. In this case, they do line up, so we're good to go. But it's not imperative. So we're going to be multiplying like this. Okay, so first we need to multiply from right to left. So we're going to take our bottom number and we're going to take the digit all the way to the right, and that's our 4, and we're going to be multiplying up and over. So first we'll multiply 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 times 3 is 12. And then we'll carry our 1 and just put it down over here. So we're actually done with this 4. We've multiplied up and over, so we're good to go with the 4. All done. I can indicate that, just like cross it off so we know we're done. And now step 2, we need to insert our placeholder. So since our next number, the 2, is in the ones place, we're going to have to move over. We can't go to the 10th place, so we'll have to put a placeholder here. You could put a 0, you could put a heart, a smiley face, a butterfly, it does not matter. I'm doing a heart here because that's what our class sometimes does. And now we're going to go and multiply using that 2. Okay, so 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. There's nothing to carry, so we'll just leave it at that. Okay, number 3, our step is to add up our layers. So we're going to be adding here, and we have 4 plus our placeholder is just going to be 4. 2 plus 2 is 4, and 6 plus 1 is 7. Now, we know that 3 times 2 is 6. So if we're estimating, we would know that the answer 744 does not make sense. So our answer should be close to 6. We can use our estimate to place our decimal between the 7 and the 4 here. Or what we can do is we can count the amount of times we had to move our decimal, so we can count from right to left, 1, 2, and then we'll move our decimal 1, 2 spaces between the 7 and the 4. So both ways it works out with our estimate, that makes sense, and that is going to be where we place our decimal. Great. Now, maybe you're wondering what we would do if we have a bigger number. So in this case, we only have 2 digits for each, so we have 2 layers. With this number, 5 22/100ths times 6 13/100ths, we're going to have to have an additional layer, which means also an additional placeholder. So we're going to start multiplying from right to left. In order to do that, we have to write out our number in a vertical manner. So we have 5 22/100ths times 6 and 13/100ths. Okay. So now what we're going to do is multiply using that 3. Remember, we go from right to left. So we're going to take the 3 and multiply up and over. So 3 times 2 is going to be 6. 3 times 2 again is going to be 6. 3 times 5 is 15, so you put the 5 and then carry that 1 over. Okay, so we're done with our first layer. Awesome. We know that we've multiplied from right to left, and now we need to insert our placeholder. So our 3 is done, and we need our placeholder. We'll do a smiley face this time. Okay. All right, now as we move from right to left, we've already done the 3, and now we're going to take the 1 to multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5. All right, pretty simple there. Uh-oh, we actually are going to have 2 placeholders in this situation. So I'm going to put 2 placeholders because now we've moved to the 10ths place from the hundredths. So we each row or each layer or row, whatever you want to call it, will have an extra placeholder with each subsequent level. So I'm done with the ones, that 1, excuse me, in the 10th place. And now we're going to be multiplying using the 6. Again, we go from right to left, and we'll do 6 times 2 is 12. And we'll have to carry there. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 1 is 13. Carry. And 6 times 5 is going to be 30, and we have plus 1, so it's going to be 31. All right, there's a little squish there, but you can see that that's what we have. So now we're going to add up. Add up our layers. Okie dokie. So when we add them up, we are going to have 6 plus placeholders is going to be 6. 6 plus 2 plus placeholder is going to be 8. Kind of a funny looking 8, sorry. Then we have 5 plus 2 plus 2, which will be 9. And then we have 5 plus 1 plus 3, again, a 9. And then we can bring down our 1 and our 3. Okay, when we look back at our original problem, we have we could estimate using 5 and 6. 5 times 6 is going to be 30. So we know our answer will likely not be 319,986. It should be something close to 30 because that is an estimate that makes sense. So we know that we can use our estimate to place that decimal between the 1 and 3 digit, or we can also count, as we did in our last problem, decimal places. So we can do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So whether we use our estimate to place the decimal point or if we move our decimal by counting, we will get this answer. And there you have it. Remember to follow your steps from right to left, insert placeholders, add up layers, and move decimals. All right, thank you. Good job, guys.